Yo, 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 what's up? It's Chris Simms Unbuttoned, and I got the best tight end in the NFL draft. That's what I think, at least. Jeremy Ruckert, Ohio State. What's up, dude? How are you?
I'm good. I appreciate you having me on.
No problem. First off, you win the award for college kid with the nicest apartment. I'm going to say, I don't know what the rest of the apartment looks like or whatever you got behind you, but it looks like it's well designed and nice. That's for sure.
It's in my apartment. Trust me, I didn't stay in this. This is just an Airbnb for temporary.
Oh, it's that Airbnb. So it's that new money getting you a new spot. Yeah, you're out of the college dorm and apartment life. All right, so you're using the agent's money to get a nice little spot.
Yeah, my agent's hooking it up. He's the man.
All right, good. All right. I'm gonna have some fun with you at first. First off, what kind of music we listen to? What's playing in your car right now?
So I'm the kind of guy. I'm not on the aux. I let anybody else get on the aux, and I'm into anything. We grew up. My family listened to just classic rock and whatever's on the radio. As we got into high school, hip hop, rap started getting popular. And,
Yeah.
it came out to Columbus, and a few of my friends like the country music. So I mean, I'm well versed in all of it, and kind of just like what anybody puts on. I don't complain, man.
All right, good. I'm the same way. I am. I'm Led Zeppelin fan, classic rock. You got a group that's like your group in classic rock?
Not really.
No, you're just down with all of it. The genre is
Yeah,
cool to you. All right. What about Taylor Swift, Katy Perry? Where are we going with there? Who you'd rather jam
Hey,
there?
I'm not gonna hate. I'm not gonna hate. I'll listen to it. So they got
Okay.
some good songs. Put them growing up.
Good. Yeah. Okay. You got to pick one. Who are you gonna go? Taylor Swift or Katy Perry? Which one are you gonna pick?
I'm gonna go old school Taylor Swift. When I was a little kid, I had a crush on her.
Okay. You had a crush on her. All right. All right. You Xbox, PlayStation guy.
PlayStation all the way.
PlayStation all the way. All the young kids are. I don't understand it. All right. Pepsi, Coke.
That's a tough one, man.
I know.
They do taste different. I like them both. I'm gonna go with. I used to be Pepsi. I'm leaning towards Coke now.
I know. I used to be too. I used to be more of a Pepsi guy too. I lean towards Coke. There's something about the burn in the back of your throat. All right. Last thing you Googled. Yeah. Yeah. Right. You got to have the burn. Last thing you Googled. What's the last thing Jeremy Ruckert Googled?
Wordle. Trying to do in the Wordle.
You started doing
every
it.
day. Trying to train the brain, trying to get it. Sometimes it's frustrating, but that's what I did today.
All right, good. I got to do that. I'm dying to get on that. All right, and then meal. I want to know what last meal on Earth. Right? It's the Earth's ending. Okay, what are you going to there?
All right, I might get some hate for this, or people might make fun of me, but I'm from New York. I'm from Long Island. I'm gonna go to bacon, egg, and cheese on an egg everything bagel, salt, pepper, butter, and chocolate milk or something like that.
Yeah.
Every morning. That's what I get when I go back home.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, yes, that is such a breakfast. I'm from New Jersey. You know, we call Long Island East New Jersey, right? I don't know if you knew that over there.
Come on.
All right, so did you grow up a Giants fan?
We grew up Jets fans in my house. But,
Gosh, damn.
We watched it all. I mean, I was more of a football fan. My dad was a big Jets fan, but I just liked watching players. I liked watching teams. But yeah, we grew up. My dad was a Jets fan, so we'd go to games sometimes, and it was good. They were right there at Hofstra training. Sometimes we get a
right
camp and stuff. But I mean, I just grew up a football fan. Didn't really play it a lot growing up. Played a bunch of other sports, but always watched football. It was always the biggest thing in my house.
Well, I want to get there. With football growing up, talk about kind of what jumped on the scene. Talk about your other sports a little bit and what finally led you down the football path.
Yeah, so I mean, first sport I ever played, I grew up playing soccer. I played that my whole life. I was in goal. The biggest kid just put me in goal, and kind of stuck with that. Got pretty serious into that. Played basketball and baseball as well throughout that. Played flag football and stuff, but always just every Sunday went. Me and my brothers just watch on the couch, and my dad, and my mom, and just watch football all day. Fell in love with it. Like I said, didn't play it a lot growing up, but always kind of had it in the backyard playing. My brother said, "This is what I want to do." Started playing and later in middle school, and still played soccer, still played everything up until sophomore year of high school. But once I started getting recruited in football and fell in love with practicing it, that's kind of when it started to stick with me and make that dream turn to reality.
Yeah, you made the right decision. You're too big and strong to be playing soccer, so we can't do that. All right, you'd be probably a hell of a goalie. You'd cover a lot of area for sure. All right, but I can understand you played soccer and did that. It shows on the football field. You got incredible feet. All right, that's where if you wanted a fan to turn on a game, Ohio State. What's the game you're going to tell them to turn on to kind of get a feel for you, Jeremy Ruckert, a guy who, you had to deal with a lot of other weapons on your football team to go along with it.
Yeah, I think last year's Clemson game was a game that sticks out to me just because of how I feel like that was one of the more complete games ever played. I think that we had a great game plan going in, so we knew that the receivers would get a ton of attention, and we knew that we could get after them on tape. They kind of leave the middle of the field open and stuff. So the tight ends had a great game that game. We had 3 touchdowns total. I had 2. Blocked our asses off, both of us, all 3 of us. And I think that we just had a good game and had such a good game plan and executed it so well that we were just playing fast. And I feel like we were just a step ahead that game.
Yeah, you definitely were. That was the first game I really remember realizing who you were, actually, with some of the catches and plays you made in that football game. You think you had the big touchdown down the middle of the field, right, on a little post route down the middle at one point, if I remember correctly. All right, so this process, you're here with Ohio State right now. I think you're the best tight end in football. In the draft, not in football. You're not there yet. But you don't seem to be getting a ton of notoriety. And, of course, everybody's into, stats and stats and stats. So, like, what's the process been like? You seem like a confident guy. I know you're talented. You know you're talented. But I feel like you haven't quite got the media push maybe some of the other guys have.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of try not to let that get to me. I was fortunate. I was highly recruited out of high school. So at the end of the day, I chose to go here for a reason. I knew what I was going to walk into.
Right.
A place where if you're going to play tight end here, you got to be able to do all things and produce and be at the point of attack in all different ways. And I think that's what kind of caught my eye when I was making the decision out of high school. I could have went other places and, like you said, been one of the featured guys and just split out the whole time. But I wanted to go somewhere that was going to challenge me and develop me. So every time anybody brought up production or if you were unhappy or something, I just told them I chose to be here for a reason. I'm not going anywhere. As far as the other guys, I think that they're all great players. I got a chance to hang out with them and at the Senior Bowl and the Combine, they're all cool dudes. But at the end of the day, I think that just like you said, my confidence in myself and the reason I chose to go there for a reason. And like you said, the statistics and the production and the numbers might not be there, but I think the production and the development that I've had in other areas is just something you can't get anywhere else. And that's why I'm proud of where I came from and proud of the development of these last 4 years.
Yeah, you should be. You definitely should be. But, I mean, I understand it. I mean, it's got to frustrate you at times. It does. I mean, again, you haven't got the hoopla you deserve. And I think that's, perfectly understandable from your standpoint to be a little frustrated with that. Definitely. All right, your game itself, I mean, you said it. You're the number 1 tight end and coming out of high school football, or at least one of the top tight ends in the country. But that, like Ohio State, was it just all of it, that you being a pro, the big picture, everything lead you to that direction? I mean, it's just, what else did you narrow it down to? Ohio State, what were the other schools in the running?
Yeah, so I mean, I didn't even play tight end in high school. I just played strictly X receiver and everywhere on defense, and was the kicker, punter. I played basically everything but tight end in high school.
That's crazy.
I was recruited as a tight end, so I knew that's what I was going to play in college. It wasn't a surprise to me. But, I visited everywhere. I visited down at the SEC schools over down Georgia, Bama, Tennessee. Visited out up north, visited Notre Dame, team up north, all Wisconsin, all those teams. And that's where I kind of fell in love with those schools. I thought that those schools were kind of what I wanted to mold myself into, somewhere where I feel like that fit my personality of playing in the cold, being a tough Big Ten tight end. I think that's what I wanted to, because I didn't do it in high school and I wanted to go somewhere. And when I visited Ohio State for the first time, you could just tell the culture is different there. They demand so much of you. You got to be trusted. That's the biggest thing for me, was you got to be trusted to be on the field in all aspects. You can't be just down and passing downs, because in our offense, the next play could be a tempo and you got to be in pass protection. So you got to be trusted and you got to be accountable. And that's what I fell in love with there, was the culture. Coach Mick, he was my guy, man. The development he gave me throughout my 4 years there, not only as a physical player, but just the mindset that it takes to be dominant. I think that's what, I mean, like you said, that was the decision for me. It was more than stats and everything. I wanted to become a better player and a better man.
Yeah, right. The big picture. I hear you. Oh, so I didn't know this aspect. I saw and read that you were, the number 1 tight end prospect or top tight end prospect, but you didn't actually play tight end. You played X receiver. So, like, at least give me a few lines on just the adjustment of getting to college football, going from Long Island football. That's, just okay, then into I know I'm giving you a hard time, and then going to tight end Big Ten football. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I think I was fortunate. I got to go to a bunch of good high-level camps in high school, so I got to go against that top competition. That's kind of how I started to separate myself when I was younger.
Gotcha.
Like you said, football wasn't so big out where I was from. It's all where all the lacrosse players are at and everything.
Right.
But yeah, I got a chance to go, and that's where I really played tight end was at the camps. I never did it in high school, so I think that's when I got to showcase what I could do, how I could move, and make those plays. So I think that's where it started. I never played it in games until I got to school, and really my first time putting my hand down and blocking people was at my freshman fall camp, going against guys like Chase and Nick and Draymond Jones and guys like that, and kind of thrown into the fire right away. But I think that just like I keep going back to, it just molded me into I wanted to be challenged. I wanted to be developed, and I think that's what I got out of this journey at Ohio State.
I love that you don't wear gloves, right? Like you got I see so, but then like you wear them and don't. I see pictures that you do, and sometimes you don't. Right? The Senior Bowl, you wear gloves already, but the Senior Bowl you didn't. That's where I want to get to straight. What happened?
It was raining. It was raining, so they don't really work too well in the rain. It's kind of just a field thing.
Yeah.
I don't wear gloves a lot in practice. Kind of get a feel for the ball, but for the most part, I wear it. Why not? They help you. But if it's raining out, I don't like to mess around with the. I like to kind of feel the ball and feel the wetness and everything like that.
Yeah, I hear you, because the gloves get a little wet. It can get real slippery and just slide right through, right? Yeah.
Don't want that.
Yeah. All right. So I also want to get into I want to get into your game here in a minute, but I do want to add. I mean, again, just you kind of hit on it, but during the year, you watch film on Sunday after the game. There's a lot of games I looked at on film and went, damn, Ruckert was open a lot. I mean, he could have had a big day statistically, but there goes Olave and there goes Wilson, and they're open too. How did you kind of compartmentalize or deal with that aspect during the season? You had to have some frustrating moments there.
I think it goes to a few points. Is that one, we were winning.
Yeah,
that's the biggest for me. Is I want to do anything it takes to win. Whether it's I'll stay in pass protection all day if we're gonna throw and score touchdowns with those guys. So that was the biggest thing for me, is we were winning. So I'm not one to complain and try and change things when things are going well. There are some healthy conversations with CJ and Coach Day sometimes about like, what can I do better to get myself more opportunities? But at the end of the day, we're winning. I'm not trying to change that. And the other thing is just I piggyback on what I said before, I'm gonna do whatever it takes. I don't care. Once I get on the field, I don't care about me. I don't care about anything. I just care about doing my job and helping the team win. So that's kind of the culture of our tight end room at Ohio State. And we had to do so many jobs, and we're valuable in so many ways, whether it's in the run game, out in the perimeter blocking, in the pass game, and kind of just go into the mentality of you might not get that many opportunities, but when you do, you got to make it count. That's why I think you see a lot of my big plays came in big moments where it was one or two catches a game, but they were big catches, they were big touchdowns in moments. So I think that's kind of what I just go back to, is doing my job, trying to dominate every play, but when those opportunities come, make the play and not have any issues in that aspect.
You're the most complete tight end in the draft, for my money, hands down. That's why I made you number one. What I guess the thing I want to get into is your game specifically, as far as you got incredible feet route running, right? How much do you work with the receivers and Brian Hartline on that stuff? When you get split out, I'm very impressed with your releases, your ability to stick your foot in the ground. Kind of talk us through, how you worked on that, how you got better on that, and do you mess around with a Brian Hartline in that department?
Yeah, I mean, this whole there wasn't much discussion of me not playing in the Rose Bowl. I was playing from the jump, but the conversations were that no matter what when I come back to these practices, this whole month that we had off, I work with Coach Hartline every day. I was kind of doing individual drill with the receivers. Did 4 years of individual drill with the tight ends, and no shame in that, but I think that I wanted to get a lot and get a step ahead. So I did everything with the receivers through bowl practice. Practice did the plays with the tight ends, but individual drill techniques, pre-practice, after practice, everything was with the receivers and Coach Hartline, just getting those nuances and getting those, like you said, those little things that he teaches those guys is why they're so special.
Yeah, what anything that you can give specifically that like you really learned from Hartline that you went, ooh, I never thought about that or did it this way, but that makes a lot of sense?
Yeah, just the efficiency that he coaches with, just the top end, the way he coaches doing a top end of a route and different routes, about not dropping your shoulders and kind of staying level so you don't give it away and stuff like that. Just little things that he taught me that you don't really think about until he says it, and then you just say, wow, that makes so much sense. And just keep repping that. I repped it. I went over to his group before practice every day and just did those little things that they do to warm up every day. And it just makes you not think about it when you're actually in practice in the games.
And you're blocking. To me, that's what also separates you. And this, when I say all around, that's what I think. To me, hey, Trey McBride, really good tight end. He moves like you. He does a lot of good things. But to me, your physicality at the line of scrimmage, or when you were going behind the line of scrimmage and had to kick out the defensive end or linebacker, really put you above the rest, in my opinion. Kind of talk about your blocking, your mentality there.
Yeah, I think I was fortunate. Coach Wilson does a great job of developing tight ends and learning how to block. Like I said, I never did any of that in high school, so I came in super raw in that aspect and just learned how to bend and do the proper fundamentals and stuff. But what really I think changed from when I was a younger player to where I am now is just a mindset. I think that takes you to the next level of not only wanting to cover a guy up, and I want to dominate a guy. I want to be able to do my job in a fashion that he don't want it anymore. At the end of the game, he starts to feel it, and I think that in that aspect, that's where I really started to sense growth. There is that some speed up into contact, some slow down, and I learned along the way that some guys don't like it when you speed up into it and play with that physicality, and then it opens up a lot of other things in games, and I take pride in that. And yeah, like you said, I think that's what I think if there's something that separates me from other people, is just the mindset of wanting to get at people, and sometimes it gets in my way. Sometimes I'll be off balance on a few plays, but at the end of the day, once I get out there, I'm trying to do my job to the best and at the fullest speed.
I could tell you hit contact on full speed. You're not afraid to smash your face into the other guy's face, which I respect and you need. And that's what you're supposed to do. You're from Long Island. You're supposed to smash your face into people. Come on.
That's it.
Now, do you get a feel or a sense? The media, like we were discussing earlier, maybe hasn't caught on to the hype, but I do feel like people that know and really studied have. Like when I made you my number one tight end, I got some texts from some people around the NFL like, hey, good for you for making Ruckert the top tight end. No one's giving this guy enough respect. Do you get a good feel when you talk to teams that they realize the type of player you are and maybe they view you more like I do?
Yeah, I think that every conversation I've had with the team has been super positive. I think the biggest thing throughout this process that I'm grateful for is that not only do they evaluate you and do they interview you, but they also coach you, and you get a different. I've spoke to so many position coaches these past couple months on Zoom calls, in person, at the combine, on visits and stuff, and kind of just trying to absorb everything they're saying. But to go to your point, I think all these conversations are great. Like you said, they understand that the film doesn't lie, and obviously I got a long way to go, and I'm excited for that because I feel like I do have a long way to go. I keep getting better, but as far as the versatility and the want to be that guy, I think they feel that and they got a sense for that, and I don't think it goes unnoticed at all.
Yeah, you're extremely talented. We know that. All right, I'm not going to keep you much longer. Like game wise, what are we trying? What's your biggest thing you worry about in the NFL where you go, I got to get better at this?
I think just the consistency as a blocker. I think that's what any tight end should work on coming out, because the best player you're going against in your college team or in the game is going to be just a mediocre average player in the next level. So I think that's what learning that the speed of the game and working on those little things. Because if you take the wrong step, if your hand's in the wrong spot, if your hat's a little high, you're going to lose that block right from the start against these people. So just working on keeping those fundamentals at the forefront, along with the mentality that I have, I think is something I really want to work on and try to be the most consistent I can be, and then just make the plays that I know I can make. I'm super confident, and that stuff is all natural to me. So just knowing that when the ball comes my way, I'm gonna make that play, but really focus on those little things.
Who's the guy that you can't wait, or maybe gets you a little nervous when you think about, ooh, when I got to put my hand on the ground and this guy's in front of me, I can't wait for that experience? Anybody pop to your mind when I say that?
I actually never thought about that yet. Kind of just going through it. I think that just I can't wait to go against all those guys. I want to see how I stack up against them. That's kind of how I was as a young tight end coming to Ohio State. We had some great defensive ends that year, and I have that same mindset of just not nervous, not scared, just eager to get beat, eager to learn from it. And hopefully I get to a team where in practice they have those guys in the team, which they will. So just picking their brain and seeing what I can do better. But as far as one specific guy, I haven't really thought about that. I'm gonna have to think about that.
Okay, all right, it's okay, good. Yeah, there's a lot of names up there. There's some big bad dudes, but you blocked a few in the Big Ten, that's for sure. You're not going to be, in shock, especially coming out of Ohio State. Aliens or ghosts? Which one are real? You think?
I think aliens are real. I think spirits are real, but I think there's got to be aliens. When you see those videos about how
Right.
we're just a little marble in this whole whatever, not even universe, in this whole existence, I can't even talk about it because it starts to blow my mind. And just seeing where they zoom out of the Earth and then they zoom out of the galaxy and then there's just like tons of them. Like I can't even wrap my head around it.
Yeah,
There's no way we're the only sense of life in this whole thing. There's no way.
That's right. I'm with you all the way. They can both be real. I think there's ghosts and aliens. I'm with you all the way. I mean, yeah, no doubt about it. All right, here's another fun one. You got Kittle. All right, it's George Kittle, Travis Kelce, Rob Gronkowski. They all want to take you out to dinner. Unfortunately, they all want to go Thursday night at 8 p.m. You got to choose one of them. What invitation are you taking to dinner there?
I'm taking George Kittle. I think that obviously he's got the personality that you want to be around, but I think that as far as I got a chance to speak with him on the phone a couple years ago during COVID, and kind of he gave the tight ends a little talk about how he goes about his business and stuff, and just pick his brain on that a little bit more. But also just kind of kick it with him. He seems like a cool guy. Seems like fun to be around. But that's nothing against those other two. I'd love to go out to dinner too with them. But
yeah. Yeah, you're going to have fun with all three for sure. No doubt about it. Kittle's the guy that I look at to go, I think that's your game. That's the guy you remind me of maybe the most as far as the complete football player. I know you got some work to do to get to his level, but I thought you would go Kittle there. I really did.
Yeah, I mean, that's who I try and ever since we had that conversation, just the way he went about his business, I think I started to try and model it after that and take my own spin on it. But just the mentality that he plays with and how much fun he has, and every time he touches the ball, he's trying to score, and every time he puts his hands on someone, he's trying to bury them. And I just appreciate that, and I want to kind of have that same mindset because obviously it's working well for him.
Yep. All right, and then quarterback. Just give me like one that you just can't wait to see on the football field. Anybody, like who's the quarterback that you just go, oh, I can't wait to see what he looks like in person.
I think anybody would say Tom Brady, especially at the age I am now. I feel like he's been in the league longer than I've been alive. So I mean, I grew up watching him. Like I said, we grew up in my family watching Jets all the time, and he was killing us. So
yes,
just to see in person, and everything here is a good guy. So yeah, Tom Brady.
Brady, that's not a bad one. I understand that totally. It's a cool experience. I can still remember being on the field seeing Brady for the first time. It's special. So enjoy it. I don't want to take any more of your time. You're the man. Thanks for having fun with me. All right, I appreciate it. Good luck, man. Kick some ass. Jeremy Ruckert, Ohio State tight end, coming to a city near you, and he's going to be dominant at tight end in all areas. You the man. Thanks, bro.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
All right, I'll talk to you. See ya.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.